Just minutes ago, President Obama approved a disaster declaration for West Virginia. 9 counties are dealing with a chemical spill. It contaminated the water supply. Up to 300,000 people are being told not to touch the tap water.
Crowds filled stores in West Virginia Thursday night, stocking up on everything from water to ice. Demand for the items so high, shelves were wiped clean.
Everybody's wanting water. There is no water, and that brings concern.
I got a buggy full of ice up here, so it'll turn into water. But I mean, you can't live without water.
Hourly tests are being carried out in the meantime, but authorities say it's unclear when they'll be able to lift the do not drink ban or when the water will be safe to use.
We don't know that the water's not safe, but I can't say it is safe.
Water in West Virginia is still unusable.
Now it's utter chaos. Eyes burning.
It's a zoo in here, isn't it?
It's a zoo.
If I can't take a shower, it's going to be ugly.
Local tap water not safe for drinking, cooking, bathing, or even washing dishes. The question, when will this problem be fixed?
Thousands have been told the tap water is once again safe, but tonight, a new warning: pregnant women should not drink it, raising the question, what's the truth about what's in the water?
I think there were so many questions about exactly what was in the water that initially, whenever they said go ahead and flush, that I will say this. I think from an economic standpoint, there were so many people that couldn't go out and afford to go get a hotel room, couldn't afford to go drive 30, 40, 50 miles to another place to take a shower, to do their laundry, to do the necessities with water, that I think that because of that situation, people just had to go ahead and use it. I was actually at work back in the office whenever that all clear happened. My roommate at the time flushed the pipes, and I remember coming home and getting ready to take the first shower, and you know, that smell was everywhere. So they told us that it would be there, but I think that everyone, at least myself, was a little reluctant. It was a matter of necessity, though. It had been days, and it's not like I could jump in the car and just drive away out of town to go find some water to use. So I would say it wasn't, if there was any trust involved, there was certainly a level of reluctance. There's no question about that.
So there's drinking water, then there's use. It's called a designated use. And that
Well, so there's a couple of things that limit the value of science. And most notable among those is transferring that information, making that information become part of everyday life. And part of people's awareness. So scientists like me, we can sample streams every day, all day, everywhere, and we do, right? But if residents in these areas aren't aware of it, or if it doesn't become part of what they're conscious of, it has less value. And I can tell other scientists what I'm finding, but again, until the public becomes aware of what's around them, the science has less value.
That I think needs to be pointed out is, like, you know, journalists aren't scientists necessarily. You know, we take what they say and try to distill it down, which is oftentimes really, really difficult work. It was difficult work during the chemical spill in Charleston. It's a challenge with this project with the riffles and the sensors, the Streamlab project. But I think that basic data can be something that we can discuss. Well, we can look at this data and say, there's something here that we want to look into more. The specifics of it will lead us to something else, or lead us to ask other questions of scientists, or try to take our own data collection farther. So yeah, I think that it's extremely valuable despite the seemingly elementary nature of what we're looking at. And you know, you say that it wasn't necessarily developed, that this class wasn't necessarily developed out of the chemical spill in Charleston, but it's almost as if it's a natural progression, right? You know, I think to myself, what that situation might have been like if these sensors were available, and journalists could have been testing, pulling samples and testing things.
I think one of the most empowering aspects of sensors and this sort of DIY, Internet of Things environment is that it gives individuals who have not had power in a situation power to look at and investigate their community themselves. And while the science is still evolving, and while there is a lot that still needs to happen in order to make not just these sensors, but water sensors in general, that kind of tool, I think it enables folks who have really been, that's the power of technology and citizen journalism. I think we're going to see the same power of that technology in citizen science and with sensor journalism, because it puts tools and technology in the hands of folks in a really empowering way.